So, coming home from King March, happy MLK Day, by the way, whenever this drops. But we're kind of in this lane. It's kind of weird. It veers off to the left, but then it also allows you to keep going straight. So you still have a choice in which lane you're going to go through. And I chose to keep going straight, while the guy behind me was already like half at me. So he starts honking, so I stop. He shoots in front. Now we're approaching a red light, and he's doing the whole brake tap thing. And I'm like, okay. Then he rolls down his window, and through his rearview mirror on the side, he's like mouthing something at me. And I'm kind of half laughing, but I'm kind of just like, hey man, do you, whatever it is you think is necessary. The problem is, my daughter was in the car with me, and that what I'm gonna call being a fake tough guy. And I'm glad he was a fake tough guy in this instance, because there was no reason to escalate beyond it. But what it does, people like that, you guys do me a huge favor by giving me living lessons in which that I can show my child in real time what it looks like not to act like. So shout out to this guy, because he chose to think emotionally beyond the initial reaction of honking his horn. That part I told my daughter, I understood, because he was giving a warning, hey, I'm here, don't hit me, we don't need to have an accident. But once he got in front, he had what he needed, but he insisted on the brake tapping. I wasn't close to him, but he was doing it as I would move up, then he'd hit his brake. Then he'd move up, then I'd move up, then he'd hit his brake. Then he rolled down his window and started mouthing things. So shout out to the fake tough guy. But again, what it does is it gave me a real life lesson to show my daughter and to illustrate to her what thinking emotionally and logically looks like. And for her moving forward in her life, should she choose a man in her life, or even just not even as a partner or a mate, but just in the people you want to surround yourself with, that they aren't thinking emotionally right off the bat, that there's not an immediate self-gratification to, I'm going to throw this mini tantrum and then see what you do about it by challenging you. It's kind of a crazy notion that this is what people are still doing in this day and age, but it's an age-old thing as well. It's not like we're just discovering people act this way. So the road rage is real, and like I told her, I didn't want it to escalate. I don't want to have to, do anything. But I think she had asked, or maybe the conversation had veered to, well, what if he had gotten out of the car? I said, if he had gotten out of the car and came over, because you're in the car, I'm prompted to do a little bit more in the way of being proactive with our defense. So in that case, do I get out of the car? Or do I sit in the car and make us both sitting ducks? At least getting out of the car, I can say, dude, this isn't the time or place, my kid's in the car. If you want to meet later and have a fair one, we can do that. But we're not doing this with people's kids in the car. People don't care, and that's the other unfortunate part. But it also allowed, by that explanation, for me to explain to her why when we walk down the sidewalk, through the parking lot, or anything else, I put myself between her and what is the larger danger. So cars passing us, I put myself in that layer and then her. So she's protected more. So when I kind of illustrated this, then she understood more of what I had been talking about this whole time when we walked through the parking lot in the grocery store. Like, look, you put yourself between the parked cars and me, and then I'll put myself between you and the moving cars. That way you are protected more. That's my job, to protect you. So this is where we're at, but it was just a lesson, and it was something that I thought, you know what, let me speak to it as well, because on some level we've dealt with the small-mindedness of, I'm going to show you, I'm going to one-up you. The honking wasn't the issue. That was a warning, and I was actually grateful for that, because I don't want to have an accident either. But beyond that, that turned into an emotional tantrum, a breakdown of sorts, of being able to construct maybe a thought that I've accidentally cut people off too. Maybe this person didn't mean to. Because when he honked and we looked, it's not like I was yelling or, flipping him off or anything else. So he had no reason to go into the extra steps that he did, but he did. And, we've heard the expression being extra. So this man was being extra. So speaking, just on this event, we've all been there, or at least most of us have been. Most of us are more apt to let it slide. And that's where it should be, is you let it go, let people, have their moment, because you don't know what other people are going through. That part I will absolutely admit to and acknowledge. I don't know what that guy's day was like. He could have just gotten fired. He could have gotten a Dear John letter from his wife. Who knows? But there's still something about the things we can't control. You can still control what you do about it. So whether your wife leaves you, your boss fires you, whatever, don't go looking for problems in the streets, because just like I have to be wary of him, he should be wary of me, which is why I suspect he didn't get out of his car, because, as I pointed out to my daughter as well, if he was really about doing something and standing on his business, he could have easily gotten out, because we sat at a whole red light. He had a whole minute and a half, 2 minutes to get out of the car, come over and approach me. But he doesn't know what's in my car. He doesn't know what kind of day I've had. So he wanted to blow his little steam off, and that's what he did. And, that's fine. But there's still something to be said about just watch your levels. Watch your levels of emotion. Think more with logic, and really get yourself home safe, and don't create problems that aren't there. So that's my thought. What are you guys' thoughts? Ace up the sleeve, advice, comment, experience. Would love to hear it. Leave in the comments. Subscriptions to the channel are free. And I hope this finds everybody in your place. Pursuit of beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. And as always, subscriptions and videos. So stick around.